Well, I just caught up with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and began by asking him whether he's concerned about the direction of the war in Ukraine.
It is moving not in the right direction. It should move eastwards, and it's moving westwards. Very slowly. The Russians are really paying a high price. We know that tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of Russians have died. Many more have been seriously wounded. So Russia is paying a high price. The economy is doing worse. But still, the front line is moving in the wrong direction. We have to change that. We have to change the trajectory of this whole war.
How does that happen, given the support that Ukraine has already? It seems unlikely to increase, given the fact that we've had changes in Washington, D.C.
What I think is that Washington, D.C., if they would decide to keep the support going and maybe do even more, so that you can get Putin to the negotiating table, that we in Europe will have to pay more, which is only logical, because Trump is right. Ukraine is closer to Europe, but Trump is also right. This is also a geopolitical conflict, so I'm sure the US wants it to end with a good and a strong deal.
But Trump is trying to force Putin to the table, while Putin is still making advances on that eastern front as well. It's unlikely he's going to rush to the negotiating table, isn't it?
Well, I was very happy with the wise decision of Trump to put more sanctions on Russia. And we know that the Russian economy is doing terribly bad. And these sanctions will help. And I hope the Europeans will also step up now with their sanctions. We are doing a lot here on the European side. I think Europe could do even more and work in conjunction with the Americans to choke off the Russian economy. And we know that he is already spending 1/3 of his budget on defense, and now he is having these huge economic problems.
Well, the US president has called on NATO allies, of course, to spend as much as 5% on GDP on defence. I think that's a bargaining position, to be fair, but I asked Secretary General Rutte for his take.
Clearly, we all in Europe, those not on 2%, and luckily, thanks to Trump, in his first term, we have stepped up defence spending. We are now spending 640 billion more than when he came in office in 2016, 2017. But we all have to get to the 2%, not so still 8 or 9 are not, but many more than when he came in the first time. So that is one. It has to be done in the next couple of months. But the problem is even bigger. I came in this job now 3.5 months ago. I looked at all the facts. And I came to the conclusion, it is impossible to keep NATO safe, the whole NATO territory safe. Yes, for now, yes, we can do that, but not in 4 or 5 years. If we don't ramp up defense spending, and we have this whole process in place in NATO to exactly establish what all the allies have to do, and it will be much more than 2%. But secondly, also to ramp up the defense industrial base. We are simply not producing enough.